What's up, guys? Welcome to the Lucky Draw Podcast, episode 29. Like we said, we were bringing a bunch of special guests in, so we have our special guest of the week, Dom Ritchie. One of our Canadian brothers coming up from Toronto, which a little bit of his background accomplishments. We got day 2 at NAIC this past season, since we are in the new season. And then in 24, he had a day 2 in Orlando and a day 2 in Indy. So definitely somewhat of an accomplished player. Definitely wanted to give you the floor to introduce yourself. So you got it, Dom.
Yeah, so hi guys. If you don't know me, I'm Dom Ritchie. On Twitter, you might know me as Tempo TCG. Back last year around this time, I yapped a lot about Raging Bull. And before that even, I was talking about the deck a lot, and that kind of brought me a lot of people kind of looking at how do we play this deck, like what's going on, because initially before Ogre Pong came, it was like Raging Bull was a cool card. People thought it'd be like Lost Box, Rayquaza was, and then nobody kind of played it, and then I decided to play Lost on Raging Bull, and it worked really well. I made day 2 in back-to-back events, and that's kind of where the platform started to go. But you might have seen me on the Shuffle Squad YouTube channel. I used to be on there a lot. Or even my own personal YouTube channel, but besides that, I just play Pokemon a lot, try to create content when I can, and overall just enjoy the game.
So you said you have a personal YouTube channel. What's that one so we can get that shout out for you too?
So my personal YouTube channel is just my name, so Dom Ritchie and then PTCG. I haven't uploaded on it in a while. Just went moving, my house flooded, and then cards got stolen, and then life just got in the way of recording. But I'm hoping now that I just set up my recording spot again today, I'm hoping to get back into some content creation, especially with the new season coming out.
100%. So all right, guys, remember to go give him a like and share and follow on his YouTube channel, guys.
Yeah, Dom Ritchie PTCG on YouTube. Help him get started back up.
Much appreciated.
All right, so up on the chopping block is a personal couple questions for you. So, Who's your favorite Pokemon?
That's a tough question. A lot of people assume it's Raging Bull because they just talk about it a lot. I really like Raging Bull a lot because he's a cool dinosaur. I like dinosaurs a lot. But Infernape is honestly, when I was a kid, it was like Diamond and Pearl. The anime was on, and I watched Infernape and Electivire Beef one time, and ever since I've just been hooked on Infernape.
Nice.
So he literally that card. I tried to get that card to work, and it sucks. The one that accelerates a fire in the fighting. But yeah, I love Infernape.
The wannabe Blaziken card. I gotcha.
Yeah. All the Gen 4 starters, Infernape, Empoleon, and Torterra are all so sick.
All right, cool. Infernape, I like it. It's not a super common one either.
No, it's not.
So what got you into Pokemon?
So when I was about 8 or 9, I think. No, probably a little younger than that. Probably 7 would be when Black and White came out. It came out, and my parents, I just had a DS at the time, and my parents were like, okay, well, you can get a game. And Black and White, it just looked cool. Reshiram was just a cool-looking guy, so I got that game. And ever since I got hooked on the video games for a little bit, and then locally I started just playing the card game because back in the day, hats were everywhere, and we had a small local shop with 8 people that showed up once a week, and a couple of my boys that I currently hang out with now, we all just started playing when we were young. Back in, when was that? Black and White base, I think.
Before I started, is what I was going to say. I mean, I started with the OGs, but Black and White was that period where I kind of stepped out of the game, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was Sun and Moon for me. I didn't play much during Sun and Moon. But I got 2 of the Emboar starter decks. And oh man, I was cooking because I had a broken ability. And then you just get a couple of Reshirams, and you had a deck right there.
Yeah.
So that kind of got me into it, and then I stopped playing around 2015, and then COVID happened, and I was looking for stuff to do, so I hopped on PTCG Live. Or no, it wasn't live, it was TCGO at the time.
Yeah,
and I was like, alrighty. Let me try this out again, because I remember playing it, and then I discovered Centiskorch VMAX. And that deck got me hooked. And that deck was super fun back in the day. And then, tried for, what was it even called? That online tournament that happened during COVID, Players Cup.
The Players Cups, yeah.
You see, you have a map, you played them. Did we try to do stuff around here that with that, it wasn't very prevalent in this area? After COVID, things really boomed. But we didn't really have much going on.
Players Cup, and then it went to what was it, Team Challenge? Was that where all the scores got stuff?
Yeah, I think they changed it to the Team Challenge because there were like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, and it was just fun, and it was just online stuff that I could put my mind to, I guess, would be a good way to describe it. And I got me distracted because during COVID, like, good luck getting a job and good luck doing stuff.
Honestly, COVID is one of the reasons I think Pokemon took a huge jump forward, because you didn't have as many people then even playing, and then you took it away from those who could play, but you kept introducing cards and you kept having building battles, just didn't have the leagues, and then after that, I'll tell you what, it boomed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, so what keeps you going in Pokemon?
So honestly, it's the community a lot. Like, as much as I love going and playing in a Pokemon tournament, as fun as it is, if you were to say you can never travel with your friends or go hang out with people after the event or before the event, I probably wouldn't go. So I gotta say, it's a lot of the community. Like, there's a lot of really cool people I've met that you just, like, enjoy going out with. Like, Shawn, even us in Puerto Rico, between rounds, we had a lunch break, and Shawn and I, we walked around, and we're like, oh my goodness, let's go grab a beer outside the venue. Like, stuff like that, right? That's just like memories that you'll always have, and I think that's really what keeps me going. Is like stuff like, I'm gonna tell my kids about this, you know?
Yeah, I harp on memories and experiences all the time. A lot of time, Tiger will question a lot of my decisions and things I do, but like, you're only in these areas so many times.
Exactly.
Or the opportunity only presents itself very, very slim. So I miss so much back in the past when I deployed and went to different countries. I'm not missing it now, so I'm always camera out, taking pictures, experiencing things. So I get that. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawn's referring to a very specific one. We were supposed to get a tattoo together in Anaheim, and we went to the tattoo shop, and they were like $350 for 2 coins, about a quarter a piece. And I was like, I'm good, guys. I'll get that back home for $50.
Right.
Yep. That would make sense.
Probably should have, but it's okay.
But yeah, no. All right. So now that we've gotten the basic introductions off, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic. Shawn, what do we got?
So yeah, one of the biggest things that we wanted to talk about, with a slew of stuff going on in the Pokemon community right now, was the wording of the new season +1 changes. Because I will start with, I assumed a different answer than after reading it. So I'm going to read it as it's written right here. Time is called, or TCG end of round procedure. Time is called, the current player finishes their turn. Next bullet. 1 additional turn, the opponent takes 1 full additional turn. A 10-minute overtime clock begins for this extra turn exchange. Draw. If the game does not conclude within the 10 minutes, the match results in a draw. The purpose is to keep events on schedule and prevent excessively drawn out end of game situations. That's a whole mouthful there. Tiger was the one that brought this really up to really talk about, and then like I said, I'll get back to what I said, and we want to hear how you feel about it as well. So, Tiger, you go ahead with your thoughts on this.
So, like I said earlier when we were talking for a minute about it, that could be anything from a misinterpretation of a language barrier typing it, because like the general consensus when we all heard this was just like, at time, we just start 10 minutes, all right, you guys have to finish in 10 minutes or it's over. But the way it's worded says, as soon as, so say you are at 49.50 for the timer and you pass it to me, well, I get like 3 or 4 minutes to do my turn then, and then you get a new 10-minute timer to do your turn. But that's just the way it's worded. Is that how it moves in? We don't know. What do you think about that?
I kind of feel like it's probably going to be as soon as time is called. It's 10 minutes because it says as soon as the turn exchange happens, right? In which case, like, that could be taken as when the time is called, it's exchanging to the plus additional turns. But that's probably just the simplest way they're going to go about it, especially at a regional, because, like, how are you going to go, okay, everybody's got 10 minutes, we're going to measure everybody's game, right? That's just not going to work.
It's counterproductive to the whole purpose.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's what the most common and probably sensible thing is. But there's always going to be that one person out there that's like, but according to the rules, I get my 10 minutes.
Yeah, because again, that's what I was saying in the very beginning when we started this. Was I heard this rule? I said, "Oh, that's cool. 50 minutes plus 10, 60 minutes as a judge. Now you know you'll cover 90% of everything on the table within that 60-minute time frame, with very few that are still like trying to play or arguing this point or saying I had a time extension." Because there's time extensions wasn't necessarily added on there, but you still will have some with time extensions, but that's hopefully going to minimize those that have it. That's a whole nother story, which I'm sure we'll find out in Pittsburgh as we get closer to judging the regional.
Now, going with this, in your opinion, do you think something closer to like what Japan does, where player 2 has a marker, and if times run out, even in a BO3, if time runs out on player 1's turn, player 2 still gets 1 turn, and if it runs out on player 2, they just end it there. Do you think that would fix this better than something of a wild extra 10 minutes?
That's tough. I think without seeing how the extra 10 minutes is actually going to play out, I think that's hard to say. I think Japan's way of doing it probably won't work because we play best of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could abuse that super bad.
Oof, yeah.
Right? I could sit here and be like, oh, there's 6 minutes left. I'm taking a 6-minute turn. Right? I wouldn't do that. But there's definitely a lot of people, and you'll see a lot of the top tables too. Even with this +1, there's going to be a lot of people abusing the clock, and I think Japan's way of if the game isn't finished at time, that game is I believe they're double lost.
It is. There are no ties in Japan.
Yeah, I feel like some people are just going to be petty and are just going to take a double loss on that occasion. Because if you look at Yu-Gi-Oh right now, I don't know if either of you follow Yu-Gi-Oh at all.
But, a little bit here and there. I've got a couple crossover people I follow that do both.
Yeah, so Yu-Gi-Oh just announced their top cut rules are going to be different, where it's top 16, and Yu-Gi-Oh also doesn't have ties, but they used to be top 32. So now if you're on your winning end and it's top 16 ASIM, a ton of people, if you're going to lose your game, you can just draw the game to be a double game loss and then just extend top cut hugely. Right? And then be we both lose, we're both going to miss. Or, okay, I'm going to make us both lose, and then maybe we both make it if enough tables do that. I think there's a lot of abuse that can happen from a system where people get double game losses.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't think of it from...
just be double ties.
Yeah, I didn't think of it from that side of the view that, effectively, if a double game loss would result in more people just meeting whoever 16th place is versus having a clean cut. I didn't think of it from the end of the event point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It probably wouldn't affect a majority of games because most people just aren't at the level to be I'm going to manipulate this so I purposely don't hit time. Or so I purposely do hit time. But there's definitely if there'd be a lot of collusion at the top tables. I feel of people, they'd be if the tables 12 through 16 all double game loss, then we all get to make top cut.
Right.
Right? That stuff happens, right? And even in this scene right now, there's people at Worlds and stuff, people be okay, these tables are playing this. I was in a group chat for Worlds 2 years ago, and I'm not gonna obviously say names, but people be okay, boys, try to tie your game. It might give this person a chance at top cut, and it's there's already a lot of collusion, right? So
yeah,
I think stuff like that would bring in way more.
I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot of top players that have their clique that they will go out of their way to try and help them if they have no shot, but one of their group members do.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, and then another thing we talked about that kind of goes inside with the new time change is actually the first turn searches and how that conversation of 2+ minutes, as seen in the World's Finals, and people are really analyzing the first turn search between the first turn card played. It's brought up a lot of questions on prize cards. Should they change that? Lots of questions. I know some of them are out there, some of them aren't, but I still think that we're still going to have these minute and a half turns, searches, because it's what is generally accepted. I'm not going to pull out anybody who made this tweet. I honestly don't know who it was. I just read it. But it was something about judges don't want to enforce it when we're on the floor, and it's not that. First off, for a department of, let's just say, masters of a 2,000 player group, you got maybe 40 judges, if that, in that group to cover 40 judges, 4 teams of 10, with a head judge, assistant head judge, all them included, so you have maybe 30 floor judges that are doing all that, it's impossible to see everybody who's taking extending amount of time on their first turn. But back to what I was saying, it's kind of been generally accepted that you can search for a minute. Like, you are going to look because your opponent's going to get that same ability, and you're going to let that happen, and then the other searches get shorter. But I do think 2 minutes is a little extensive.
Yeah. Where do you think the cutoff time should be for where you say, all right, you've had enough time to look because you're wasting time in the game versus, all right, this is acceptable because I'm going to take 10 seconds as well?
Yeah, honestly, for me, like I can deck check in roughly a minute if I know my 60 really good. Like for NAIC, I didn't know my 60 at all. I got given my 60 beforehand. It took me about a minute and a half to 2 minutes to deck check. But like if you're going to be fully deck checking and that's a skill you have, you should be able to do it in under a minute. I think a minute is fine because honestly, you're going to take a minute doing whatever you want to do anyways. You're going to spend a minute late in the game thinking because you didn't know you prized something, right? So I kind of like to look at it as like, what is the trade-off? Where if I know all my prizes, I play around them. And if I don't know my prizes and I go to search and I'm like, okay, I'm missing my blood moon, now I have to play around it. I'm going to spend a minute thinking about that between my actions, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that a minute is probably right around where I think it should be. And I think like having an actual rule for it would be good. The only issue with having a rule for it though is you're gonna have people that sit there and go counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's just gonna be Judgy took over a minute. Judgy took over a minute, and you can't have that even at a local level, right? Like cups and challenges. I know we're talking like regionals of at a regional there's not many judges. A lot of cups have one judge.
Yeah.
Like if you get 3 judge calls at the same time at the first minute of the game, that's a problem. Yeah. And I think that's why they haven't tackled the first deck search rule in the rule books yet. And that's why I think they've gone, okay, we're going to allow it. But yeah, I think if they were going to put anything in, I think it should be they have a minute to do it. And that's kind of where I like to be at. Most top players can do it in a minute easily.
Right.
A lot of people are faster than me. A lot of people can do it quicker. Like Zach Lesage, like he showed me a method where like he just checks his energy. He counts. He knows his counts. Like let's say he's playing 13 energies, 20 Pokemon. Mm-hmm. He'll count. I see 12 energies and I see 19 Pokemon. So he knows that there's a certain amount of Pokemon, a certain amount of energies prized. It lets you do it way faster.
Yeah, the short checking of like necessities. Yeah, your energies, your Pokemon, your specific 1-ofs, or most important trainer. The rest of it can be found on your next search.
Yeah, we had a episode where we talked about prize checking in stages, micro prize checking. I forget the exact word we used, but I mean when I play Goldango, that's pretty much what I do. If I'm playing a Buddy Poffin, I'm gonna look at all my basics because that's what I'm looking at. While I'm doing that, I can see some other things. If I had another Buddy Poffin in my hand, I know I'm gonna play this Buddy Poffin, finish it within a reasonable amount of time, play the other one, and finish looking from where I was looking before. Mm-hmm. And that's prize checking in stages. I think, back to like what Dom said, if you know your list, you should be able to get done in 60 seconds. If you know your list enough to do it in stages, that's 20 seconds each time you do that. Mm-hmm. That still falls within the rules. So my main point there is I agree with the 60 seconds. You will have people that will literally have a stopwatch, and they'll count, and that'll be the next thing we have to tackle is like, okay, we see he went 61 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only reason that it like even becomes an issue is like if you use Worlds as an example, each one of them took about 2.5 minutes per first deck search, and if you do 5 minutes per game, that's almost a whole game time's worth of play just done in a deck search.
Yeah. We did the math, and that's the big reason why this topic came up as something we wanted to talk about. And I feel like that's something that overliningly affected the round times because they know people are doing it. They want to shorten it. But now you're going to take 10 minutes off that 50 minutes because everybody's doing a minute and a half, 2 minute deck search on each game, and there's 3 games.
Right.
It adds up.
Which that brought up the last 2 things about rules that we want to go for. Do you remember when I don't know if it was China or Japan tried doing the rules for if you 2-0'd somebody you got X amount of points, 2-1. That might actually would be something interesting to go with if we went into this more direct time frames because it would force people to want to finish their games without making them upset that they didn't have the time frame. Because even if we go 2-1 and I still got 1 point, I still finish the game out to get that point because I need the point.
Yeah, I knew nothing of it.
Yeah, right, and that's essentially like, oh, I took a tie.
Right? Exactly.
Where like you'll find a lot of people will agree to gentlemen's a lot more if like that is implemented, which I actually don't hate at all. Because like another thing with time rules is gentlemen's agreements. How are they going to work now? Because people are going to have to take them more. And
yes.
You're just going to have to honor them more, and there's a lot of people that don't. And genuinely, I think that the system of if you win a game, you get a point no matter what. I think that's a really good system because it's going to mean a lot of people are going to honor gentlemen's. The only issue is ties would pretty much have to be double game losses, or just both people won a game.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of tough. You couldn't make a tie worth 2 points because then we're in the same spot we've always been in. I don't know. I think it could work. I think it'd have to be implemented super properly, and I think it'd have to be tested at an event that isn't a regional, or maybe like it could be tested at a special event. Maybe.
Yeah, like a higher level SPE.
Yeah, like even like Peru, where it's like a 300-person event.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it would be fine there or something like that, but I don't know. It's kind of tough because you'd have to do it in a qualification place that is not the same rules as us, so that you can't just go like I could go and just abuse the system, go 0-9, still get points at that region.
No, I mean
right.
Carly's not here. She's the brains of the group, but like she'd agree there. You'd have to have a reasonable amount of bodies to data that. You couldn't do it from a bunch of small ones and get the same output as you would. I mean, you would at least have to have 300 to 500 people playing. I mean, ideally, you'd want more. But like Dom said, you wouldn't want it to crumble on itself at a regional. And that
you wouldn't want there to be $10,000 on the line and people are not knowing what's happening.
Yes.
Right. And the final and last thing that we want to do about potential rule changes, what do you think about the potential open deck list tournaments?
That's huge right now.
Open deck list. So like Lost and Raging Bull got me 2 day 2s, and I strictly stand by that deck was bad. But nobody knew how to play around. Nobody knew what cards I was playing. Nobody knew what was happening. And there was a lot of stuff, like I played Cobalion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I played against an Ancient Block back when they played like Koraidon. Too, like they were playing like 4 Koraidon, 4 Roaring Moon, and they attacked with the Roaring Moon. And I think if they would have known I played Cobalion, they probably would have attacked with the Koraidon instead.
Right? Yeah, because that allowed Cramorant to hit the Roaring Moon, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It allowed Iron Hands to do it too. So, like, I think open deck lists are cool. I think it probably adds to the skill expression because pro players are just going to be able to, like, whoever builds the best deck is just going to have the best deck. But it also takes away skill expression because I do believe that having a good tech card is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like maybe not like a cheese tech card, but like you've seen some people that play like Minior and stuff versus Block Blacks, right?
Right.
It just helps that, and I think if Block Blacks knows that that's played, like they can play around that, so it brings skill expression to Block Blacks.
It takes the spice out of the cabinet. That's what I said. Because there's no spice in decks anymore. I mean, you still have it, don't get me wrong, but if a tournament starts with open deck lists, and they have to, that was part of the thing. If they have to say it upon like registration or tournament start that it's going to be open deck lists, then you know that whatever you put in there, your opponent's going to have to be able to see in some form. Whether it's look up on the phone before you play. Tiger said, "Are we going to have little cards we pass out?" And I was like, "VG and Go do." I mean, that's how that works. That's how they exchange They have just the information that the opponent needs to be able to fact check and make sure everything's right. Because I mean, same thing could happen as in changing cards. Someone can just change out a Pokemon in VG, and if nobody catches it, that's again part of why judges are judges.
Yeah, or like even at top tables, like if you know, I was deck checked last round, I'm not being deck checked this round.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're at the top table and you're like, I know this guy's playing like Goldango, I'm going to tech a Cornerstone. Like that stuff, like as much as people don't want to admit it, that stuff probably happens. There's a lot of cheaters in this community, and they're like, open deck lists might help prevent that. But like, I don't know. I'm a fan of open deck lists, but I'm also not. I think open deck lists at a regional is fine because the best players just almost always win anyways. It's just going to mean the best players do better more. But like, besides, like if you were to say every cup is open deck list, that just sounds terrible. And I think if you're gonna have open deck lists at all, it has to be the whole tournament though, because the whole it's just top cut. I think that sounds stupid.
I'm gonna have to disagree with the better players get better with open deck list, just because of the fact I feel like having an open deck list just narrows the gap for the average player and the good player, just because of the natural extra knowledge the average player gets will let them make better moves. They don't have to know average counts of cards. They don't have to know what potential tech can be put in the decks right now to deal with XYZ, because it's the big card of the meta. It takes creativity out of deck lists, because if we're in a rock paper scissors, but my rock has decided that it has I'm going to put theoretically Toad Scroll into my deck because it fixes the Gholdengo matchup, or I'm going to put Chi-Yu in there because it fixes the Gholdengo matchup because I can play it. Or like, Flare Eevee Box put the 1/1 boosted evolution Leafeon to help the Grimmsnarl and the Charizard matchup. But the moment that goes in there, we're just sitting and waiting for you to put it down because we're ready for it now.
Mm-hmm. There's no surprise.
Yeah, I guess you can play around it. Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about it as like I wasn't even thinking about like the people that are casual, like not casual, but like less competitive. I was thinking about it more like, I know what techs are in decks, so I'm always going to play that they're going to be there. But there's people that don't know that, and you're right. It would probably mean like if you put me versus Tord's going to beat me. But I would say that your average player is just going to be able to like have a better chance than they initially would, because Tord right now would always beat an average player because he could play the text for the deck. But the average player right now, they can go, oh, I know he's playing Toad Scroll, and that probably shoots their chances up a ton. Or a really good example, I think, would be Gabriel Fernandez.
Oh gosh,
all season.
Yeah. I never even thought of that. That's a good one.
100%.
Like, all season, he was like, I kept doing good because I built decks that beat the meta, and people didn't know what cards I was playing. Like,
100%.
He spoke about it at Worlds. He was like, Zoroark was okay. He's like, it's a good deck, but the only reason it did so well is because people didn't know what cards were in it. People didn't know what ace spec it played, like stuff like that. Like if you leak his whole list before that tournament and he sits down and plays, he probably just isn't going to do as well.
100%, and that's exactly why like Tord got super upset that they put him on stream round 1, so the whole venue got to see his Gholdengo techs when he was playing Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. Like I always thought about it in like it just helps me like figure out if my opponent plays a tech, but like it means I can see my opponent doesn't play Baby Gholdengo, I'll play Cornerstone, right? But I guess there's a lot of stuff where like your opponent's playing a rogue deck. Rogue decks are not nearly as good with open deck list.
Correct. It just closes the gap for a lot of things that like skill expression, spicy techs, rogues, like all that inventiveness is less.
I think it kills it. It kind of makes it more of a net deck era where, we have it already where you have a top 5, top 7, whatever you want to call it, whoever calls the tier list, but we'll probably have 3-4 decks that are played, and they're played the same way with nothing different, maybe some variations, but all those variations, like Dom said, the top players, me as a judge, I play somewhat, I'm trying to play more, but you guys will know what the other person has because you've seen every single variation of it because you've already practiced against it.
Like at Milwaukee, I played Poison Moon and got all the way to 48th, but do you know how many more people would have put down a second Pokemon turn 1 if they knew what I was playing?
Knowing it was Ring Moon, yeah. My friend played Poison Moon to NAIC, and he's like, I won game 1 of like 4 sets just because they had no idea I was poison donking them. He's like, they showed me they had a Pokemon in hand and just didn't do it.
100%. That completely eliminates
does that.
certain strategies.
Yeah.
So, I'm here for it on online events because it's a lot easier to swap decks and cards and whatnot.
You have to do it.
But like or even just releasing it the phase after. So you can just be like, you matched up with somebody and then you saw that they didn't have XYZ card in their list because they played a different A-spec, and you go check with somebody else and be like, hey, did they play this A-spec against you? Or whatever, you have easier way to fact check people by phases, because they do say that they would be released per phase. That doesn't mean that they're going to open up and do, as soon as round 1 starts, we're going to drop all the deck lists. But as soon as day 2 releases, maybe Limitless lets you go hit all of day 1 deck lists. And it hurts day 2, but it would be more fair than just like, I sat down and this is it.
I mean, a lot of people on day 1 been streamed. I think that was what some people's argument was, is that not everybody is streamed, but some people will already have been streamed, so their spice and tech is already out there.
Yeah, for top 8, top 16, most of those players have probably been on a stream match sometime throughout the day, so you got to see a lot of it, which puts them on even playing fields. And I get that, but also that's the community votes for who goes on the stream.
Yeah,
so like
it's been community vote for
that
the past 2 years.
That's not like, I mean, I've been on stream twice. Do you think that every person in Pokemon knows who I am? No. But they know that they liked Hisuian Zoroark and they liked Ironthorn's Dragapult. Didn't matter who was playing it.
Yeah, they just saw, that's a cool deck, and like, yep, let's do it.
Exactly.
So you got about 10
Yeah,
votes.
I mean, it definitely, maybe the Top Cut argument could work. I think Top Cut, because it evens the playing field, right? If we look at Top Cut and we're like, Tord's been streamed and we know his whole 60, and I'm playing against Tord and I haven't been streamed and nobody knows my 60. Because if it were me versus Tord in a Top Cut, right? People aren't going to go, oh, I know what Dom Ritchie's playing, because
right, you didn't get put on 3 times through the day.
Yeah, exactly, right? And people just don't care about me nearly as much. But like the top players that people care about a lot, they're gonna know that person's deck list. Like even if Tord, even if he doesn't go on stream, by round 4, people know what deck and what deck list he's playing.
Exactly, because they go find these people and they look at them while they're playing if they haven't finished their round.
Exactly, right? You see it a lot, especially at smaller SPEs. If you watched at Tiger, you were in Puerto Rico with us too. In Puerto Rico, there was a lot of people that they were watching Maddox every game. Like the people that were doing well, they were watching Maddox. They were watching you. I had people literally just stop and just sit and watch me and Dre.
Yeah, 100%. Like round 2, I hit Dre, and even the people playing were waiting to see what we were playing.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what's crazy. Is like at small events, there's I think open deck list might be better at small events. I don't think it's better at big events, though, because like at small events, like the top players, people just know what they're playing now. That room was 300 people, and if there's a testing group of 20 dudes, often like when I was in Peru, the week before the event, I got into like the big Peru testing group of all their top players, and like the day of Peru, we knew every single person's deck. It was actually just busted. Like we just had an advantage going into every round. Like before every round, we'd be like, okay, this is who I'm pairing. And if they're like someone that we watched, that we're like, oh, I know he's playing. Like my one round, Fabrizio Ingasilvo comes up to me. He's like, your opponent's playing Palkia Ghost. I'm like, perfect.
Thanks.
Sweet.
And like it's just helpful. And I think like maybe open decklist helps with that issue, but maybe not.
It makes scouting, I think that's the word as we'll use, scouting less needed, but there's still going to be people going and watching to see how they use the cards.
Yeah, that's true.
But, so we only have a little bit left to stay under our hour marker, so the next thing that we want to do is meta prediction for Frankfurt and Monterey. Do you think Worlds will affect it that much? As in, like, the same top couple decks are going to be X percentages, or do you think people will try and tech for the fact that Goldango was 23% and Guardy still won the event?
Yeah, honestly, I think if we look at Frankfurt, I think even online right now, the best way to look at it, and we used to always talk about this on the Shuffle Squad stuff, is like Limitless corrects, like Limitless events happen so much, it corrects, and the meta corrected to beat Goldango, which just means Gardevoir is going to win again. So my honest prediction is Gardevoir will probably be 5th or 6th most played deck, maybe 4th. I think like if you look at Limitless right now, I want to say it's Dragapult, Raging Bolt, Gardevoir, and then Goldango are the top 4 decks. And I think that's not going to change. No other decks are as good as those decks.
Charizard,
yeah, Charizard is a good candidate, and I think Terra Box is a sleeper deck too. But I think that The meta will probably stay Goldango number 1, will probably be Dragapult number 2, and then Raging Bolt and Gardevoir 3 and 4.
I can see
think
that.
like the meta is just going to be really good for Gardevoir because people are going to be like throwing in Goldango techs, and then Gardevoir. People are going to play Bolt because it takes a really even Goldango matchup, or even favored if they don't play away to take extra prizes. And I think that's just farms for Guardy.
Yeah.
Right? Dragapult can play Toad Squirrel to beat Goldango, and Gardevoir is just naturally a little good into Dragapult. So I think the meta probably stays about the same.
Now, do you think because of it being Europe and like the Church of Goldango is like originated from there, do you think that will skew the percentages a little bit compared to like Monterey, where most of the Latin American players either like Charizard or Big Basics?
Yeah, I think Goldango will probably be really, really big in Frankfurt. Probably it might even be like 40%. I'll be honest, the deck is so good. And after Worlds, it might be like a 40% deck. I think for Monterey, though, it's probably close to 20, but I don't think too much higher, just because, like you said, in Latin America, I don't know why. Charizard, they love that guy. I've never understood it. I've never, I don't know. Even in Peru, Charizard was not that popular of a deck, but man, there was Charizard. I always thought it was a joke, but yeah, no, people are dead serious. They're like, yep, I'm playing Charizard. And the whole good testing groups are playing Charizard.
100%. Like, what is it, Pertusi and Alvazito? I know I say his name wrong all the time. They are huge. They were like the inventors of the Arvin Zard build to begin with.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think Charizard might actually break the top 4 in Monterey, to be honest. I could really see it, especially it depends if Gardevoir wins or not. If Gardevoir wins, or the Gardevoir stocks go up, Charizard stocks probably go up, and Charizard probably jumps into the top 4.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what our big debate has been, is like, if Gardevoir stays up higher and Goldango stays up higher, it could move Polt Noir down a little bit to make Charizard a top 3, top 4 contender.
For sure, and Charizard naturally has always taken a favored Raging Bolt matchup too.
Mm-hmm. It is a little worse now because you don't have the consistency of just Radzard and like Lumineon. Those two pieces definitely made it a lot better. It is closer now because of the Baby Bolt and the Owls.
Yeah.
As a
I don't know.
As an avid Charizard believer, I think Bolt is a little closer than people like to admit.
Yeah, it's definitely not like people were trying to tell me like a month ago on Twitter, like, Bolt is so free for Zard. I'm like, no, it's maybe like a 55-45.
Yep.
Or like you could argue a 60-40, but it is definitely not the 80-20 it used to be, because like Charizard used to just automatically beat Raging Bolt.
Oh, 100%. It's a lot closer. You have to do the same line that you do into Goldango with Raging Bolt, but Raging Bolt can just come back faster.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's going to be about it for us. Sean's getting ready for work. So the last thing that we've got for you is any spicy or rogue or whatever you would want to call it picks for each one of those events.
In terms of spice, I think some weird deck. I've seen a lot of Conkeldurr doing good lately, and I think Conkeldurr could be a real deck maybe. I think Typhlosion's fall at Worlds might lead to it doing well at an event at some point, because Typhlosion, like, look at the top decks, it autos Goldango. And it takes a pretty decent Raging Bolt matchup. So I think Typhlosion could be okay if it just hits the right matchups. But yeah, I think Conkeldurr would be my pick, that I could see Conkeldurr making a deep run, or Poison. Poison seems really, really good.
I literally told Sean that Poison seems really good, but no one will play it because they don't like the idea of putting it on a Petrant.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I was talking about Poison with my testing group a few days ago, and I was like, guys, Poison genuinely seems so good.
I would have to, if anybody out here is looking at Poison, I would have to say to try and do Gouging Fire, like the Gouging Fire Moon combo, because you cannot beat some of these decks with just Moon because of how much spread is out there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Gouging Fire is definitely really good.
All right.
Yeah, I think poison.
Poison seems really good, and it's definitely a good rogue pick at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hate to cut it short, but unfortunately, until we move, I'm working nights still. But we are getting ready to move, and hopefully got a lot more stuff coming everybody's way.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, guys, and hopefully I can come back sometime.
Oh, 100%. All right, guys. Stay lucky.
Peace out, guys.